The Little Shepherd Boy. Once upon a time, there was a little shepherd boy who lived in a small village. He was known for his wise answers. Tales of his wisdom also reached the king. The king wasn't convinced that a simple boy could be so intelligent. So he invited the boy to his court. When the boy arrived, the king said, "If you can give me the answer to each of the 3 questions that I ask, you shall be greatly rewarded." The boy readily agreed and said, "What is your first question, Your Majesty?" The king contemptuously asked, "How many drops of water are there in the sea?" The boy smiled and replied, "Your Majesty, in order to answer this question, I will need to make a humble request. Could you please ask your ministers first to stop all the water from flowing into the sea? That is, only until I have counted all the drops in the sea. Then I will tell you how many drops there are in the sea." The king was surprised by the boy's clever answer. He knew that no one could stop water from flowing into the sea. It was impossible to do so. He decided to test the boy's intelligence further. He said mockingly, "How many stars are there in the sky?" The boy calmly said, "I will need a large sheet of paper and a pen to answer this question." Everyone watched in wonder as the boy proceeded to make minute holes in it. After this, the boy said, "I have made as many holes in this paper as the number of stars in the sky. I humbly request any of your ministers to count them." All the king's ministers took turns trying to count the holes, but none of them could do it. There were so many tiny holes in the paper that they dazzled whoever looked at them. The king was a little impressed by the boy now. So he decided to ask one of the most difficult questions that he could think of. He said, "How many seconds are there in eternity?" Everyone waited anxiously for the boy's answer. They all were convinced that no one could answer such a strange question. However, the boy thought for a moment and said, "I will try to explain this with an example, if I may." The king thought the boy didn't know the answer, so he agreed. The boy carefully explained, "In our kingdom, there is a huge mountain. A tiny bird comes once in every 1,000 years and rubs her beak against it. Now, when the whole mountain has been rubbed away by the bird's attempts, then the first second of eternity can be counted." Including the king was in awe of the boy's answer. the king was finally convinced of the boy's wisdom and said appreciatively, "You have answered all 3 questions like a wise sage. You shall be allowed to live in my palace." From that day onwards, the boy was treated with respect by everyone in the kingdom.